Thank you, everybody, for joining. We're super excited to have you. Welcome to the Coinbase Developer Platform event for showcasing some of our first AI Builder Grant recipients. This is an awesome program, and we're excited to share more about it and to showcase some of the winners. So I'm your host, Bobby Lee, Technical Program Manager here to help manage our developer community programming in the Discord channel. So CDP, also known as Coinbase Developer Platform, has created a platform that enables developers to help any business transition on-chain. So we aim for our tools to continuously improve in efficiency and effectiveness, enabling us to contribute more meaningfully to the success of those building with our products. So to get started, I'd love to introduce our presenters today. So we have Lincoln, who's the PM spearheading MPC wallet APIs and involved in the grants program. And then we have three of our grant recipients. We have Ryan and Chris from SphereOne and Sasa from Community Gaming. So Lincoln will cover what the CDP AI grant program is and what made our winners winners, and how you can get involved in our future grants program and agentic, I said that wrong, sorry, on-chain actions. And we'll get to see a couple of the demos from SphereOne and Community Gaming. So with that being said, just a couple more things, housekeeping rules. So we'll do a Q&A towards the end of the presentation, but throughout, during the discussion, if you have any questions, we just encourage you to ask those in the chat on the right. And just keep your questions relevant to the topic that's at hand and be respectful to everybody who's presenting. Also, this session will be recorded. So if you have to jump out or you want to look at it later, it'll be on our Coinbase YouTube channel. So without further ado, let's get started, and I'll hand it over to Lincoln to talk about everything.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Bobby Lee. And hey, everyone. So good to see such a big crowd in here and so much excitement recently around CDP and AI. Really excited to jump into all of these different protocols, projects with you, explain a little bit more about CDP, and hand it over to our grant recipients to explain a little bit about their demonstrations. So let's jump right into things. So to start, I just want to give a brief motivation and introduction to the CDP and why we think it's so valuable. We wanted to create CDP to solve a bunch of problems that developers face today by making it as easy as possible for anyone to come on chain. Right now, the process of developing is incredibly complex, and there's all sorts of new logic you have to understand, frameworks, tooling, all of the stuff that ultimately isn't necessary if you just want to build using the on-chain payment and data transfer rails that blockchain provides. Even getting to the point of understanding what a layer 2 rollup is and why it's needed is something that we don't want our developers to have to do. Next slide, please. So the Coinbase developer platform's goal is to bring 1 million developers on-chain. We want to make it as simple as possible for anyone to use our TypeScript and Python-based SDKs to interact on-chain with a single line of code, while still being powerful enough for our native Web3 developers to do whatever they'd like to within the on-chain ecosystem. What AWS did for infrastructure or what Stripe did for payments is what we're trying to do for on-chain builders here. Slide, please. So yes, as I said, it's simple to do all sorts of different on-chain applications with our TypeScript and Python SDKs. It can very easily be installed. And the CDP SDK is what we're focusing on today, but we also have the on-chain kit, which has the front-end user-facing components, allowing for you to fund wallets with crypto super easily, add in checkout with crypto to your website, swap, see your identity, connect wallets, everything that you could possibly do. We want to take the terrible developer experience and user experience that crypto is notorious for and completely remove that. Next slide, please. And here's a brief overview of the Coinbase developer platform in both of these SDKs. In the APIs for our wallets, our MPC wallets are all of your automated programmatic on-chain needs, whereas your smart wallets are the best wallets for app users and more end-user facing. We can sponsor gas experiences using our Paymaster. We have seamless fiat to crypto transitions within your app. You can pay for crypto with crypto anywhere and also have staking. Next slide, please. So with that, I'm really excited to get into this AI Builder Grants program. We saw a lot of use cases and interest around AI because we had made it so simple to use a single line of code to start interacting with the blockchain. And as a result, artificial intelligence, it becomes very easy to add in autonomous features and interactions that otherwise wouldn't be possible. The AI Builder Grants program is meant to catalyze the emerging narrative with the backing of Coinbase and the resources of the CDP SDK. And for those of you who have been following a little bit deeper into the crypto space, we have achieved that goal with resounding success. The AI crypto narrative is going extremely well. Definitely not entirely due to the efforts of Coinbase, but we've done our best to ride this momentum and provide people with the tools to build as easy as possible using AI and crypto together. It was originally, over the past several months, a narrative that has started to emerge, but there's always some sort of various levels of legitimacy, I'll say, in the projects that we're building in the AI crypto space. So we wanted to acknowledge and service the builders who are moving it forward through dedicated efforts and high conviction to build things that we find incredibly fascinating and interesting. Next slide. Our AI grants program got a lot of hype and interest in the media from various crypto media sources. We felt that this was the perfect opportunity to capture and showcase some of the best builders in the space. And we chose our winners based on those who showed us applications and proof of concepts that couldn't have made possible without having the CDP SDK. Really excited to share with you today with Community Gaming and SphereOne and show you what they've done and explain a little bit more about how exactly you can get involved with these projects and start using them yourself. I think at the end of the day, AI and crypto feels like two massive buzzwords, but our goal here is to make sure to show you that this is not just a speculative narrative, but it's a new era in on-chain. Having on-chain autonomous agents, having the ability to more easily interact on-chain using AI, and all of the different benefits that come from interacting with these centralized, trustless payment rails and autonomous interactions together are fascinating concepts, which makes me absolutely pumped to be on this team and super excited to now pass it off to Community Gaming for a little intro about themselves.
Thanks, Link. Those were great words, especially connecting AI and blockchain. And I agree, right? It's definitely a lot more than just two buzzwords coming together, right? But yeah, wanted to jump right on that. Hey everyone, I'm Sasha. I'm the CTO at Community Gaming, and I've been in blockchain space since 2014. And you know, with a PhD in AI, I've always been drawn to where AI and blockchain intersect, right? And over the years, I worked across many different industries, like fintech, health, energy, Internet of Things, cybersecurity, building, you know, everything from peer-to-peer marketplaces and DeFi platforms to AI crypto trading bots. And as I said, Blank, I couldn't agree more with you. Like many of you here, I watched the industry evolve through so many cycles, right? From early standardization, the rise of smart contracts, smart wallets, and huge jumps in infrastructure, L2s, L3s, rollups, and so on and so forth. And I really believe that the next wave will be driven by scalable Web3 AI agents that can handle complex blockchain operations. And at Community Gaming, right, we're tapping into that potential, and I'm excited to share more soon. So I'll continue to talk through the next couple of slides. But you know, enough about me. Community gaming is first and foremost an esports tournament platform, and we're building efficient payment infrastructure to enable gamers to earn and achieve. The CG, we call it CG as shortened, and the platform equips players, tournament organizers, and game developers with, well, all tools that they need to create and participate in scalable grassroots tournaments. The next slide, please. We've been around for about 4 years in the platform form, but before then, we've been organizing live events throughout the States. And in that time, in the past 4 years, we've built one of the industry's most advanced tournament management platforms. And what sets us apart is our instant payments infrastructures for both Web2 and Web3, along with a just diverse product suite that goes beyond the competitive gamers go-to stuff, right? Like tournaments. Think about quests, leaderboards, and soon the ecosystem that's going to be built around our token. And yeah, here's just a quick look about our 2024 stats. Just over the past 12 months or so, we've paid out over 600K in prize pools, hosted nearly 5,000 tournaments, and activated close to 500,000 wallets on chain, paid out over 25,000 players. So it was a pretty good year for us. We've also established IP in key events, regions, and game partnerships. we support, well, hundreds of games and payout currencies. And essentially, right, community gaming is chain agnostic, and it's currently available on 8 different blockchains, and that includes Solana as well. Next slide, please. I'm not going to go very deep into the next 2 or 3 slides about the product portfolio, but well, when it comes to our tournament software, it's completely free to use. As an organizer, you have access to a variety of tools ranging from complex bracket management and setup, automated match reporting, game API integrations, admin audit logs, tournament chat, gated tournament access, you name it, right? We probably have it. And on the other side, right, of the coin as a player, you can enjoy everything from free to enter tournaments on a daily basis, and for those who are feel more competitive, there's always something with a juicier prize pool, right? Either hosted by us or one of our partners. So yeah, one other thing that I wanted to bring up here is that community gaming is 100% gasless, meaning that we cover gas fees for every user and every action. This includes Base as well, and we've been using Base Paymasters in the past and CDP for that. And I think all of us would agree that gas is one of the biggest hurdles in smooth Web3 onboarding, and we've solved that for our users. Next slide, please. Yeah, while tournaments are our bread and butter, as they say, that's far from being the only thing that you can do on our platform. We have just ended our summer points farming program on Mantle, and we have just relaunched our questing system, which is essentially aimed at engaging players and fans that are more casual, right? I'd say you can compete with our users for weekly rewards by doing different quests like, win a match, play in a tournament, look at tournaments for a specific game this week, complete a quiz, survey, do social quests like and retweet, watch a YouTube video, and so on and so forth. So it's just a plethora of different things that you can do as a Web3/gamer on the platform. And next slide, please. Yeah, what's coming next is the ecosystem around our token, right? The CGX token that's going to bring a whole new set of fan engaging and exciting features. We're aiming to build an ecosystem that will resonate with Web3 folks and gamers of all personalities of interests. And we're soon also launching a hyper-casual prediction market. We're going to be focused on Web3, sports, gaming, and internet culture, streamers, KOLs, and so on and so forth. As well as staking and a gamified yield farming program for where our users can earn multiple rewards of different types. But yeah, definitely if you're interested to hear more about all of these features of community gaming, I encourage you to go to whitepaper.io and dive deep into the ecosystem. Next slide, please. All right. Yeah, just a sec, I think. Okay, all good. So yeah, today what I actually wanted to talk about more is Byte, right? Byte is our AI-powered tournament assistant, is what we call it. But it's really a very powerful AI tool that can do a range of things, right? From managing day-to-day operations, both internal and external for community gaming, acting as a very sophisticated chatbot, right? For not just the simplest queries, but also queries that require, pinging a certain blockchain or smart contract for certain information, community gaming APIs, game APIs, and so on and so forth. On top of that, right, and why I'm essentially here today, Byte is equipped with an access to an MPC wallet and a whole series of CDP APIs and queries that we're using for different intents and purposes. So on one hand, it's definitely serving as a CS support for our users, and I'd say that externally, but internally we're leveraging Byte a lot to streamline and scale our own tournament and Web3 operations, right? Anything from managing on-chain tournaments end-to-end to mass payouts for different use cases. And I'm going to talk about a couple of those use cases in the next couple of slides. So yeah, we can move on. Why did we choose Coinbase CDP, right? Well, we've had a great relationship with Base ever since 2023, and we've in 2024 we've launched or relaunched our questing system exclusively on Base, and that has been a success, right? And we like working with the Base team, right? It's probably just a starting point here. But in general, right, I'm a technologist, and I enjoy easy to use technology, and more importantly, easy to adopt and easy to learn technology, which I think, right, CDP is, and the CDP docs do offer a very streamlined way for, well, anyone to quickly pick up how to integrate right from the get-go. We utilize MPC technology, right, especially to ensure that AI operations remain controlled and secure, right? This means that, yes, our AI agents that manage different tournaments and payouts, they have access to their own wallet, right? But there is a spending limit, and some wallet interactions over some spending limits need to be also agreed on or co-signed by a human, right? So this is where MPC wallets really level the game. And well, essentially, right, just the sheer scalability of the solution, right? We're handling anywhere from 100 to 1,000 transactions each day, whether it's paying out questing rewards, leaderboard rewards, or donating to tournament prize pools, creating tournaments, sending those payouts. So, we appreciate having stability and scalability when we need more traffic, right? And yeah, next slide, please. So, yeah, you can play the video. Thanks.
The community gaming AI chatbot is capable of creating on-chain tournaments on demand. Once it receives the required inputs from a CG admin, it will create the tournament on-chain and open it up for registrations.
Thanks. Just say a sentence or two about this short demo. This basically shows how our admins use Byte, which is this AI power tool, to create and pay out on-chain tournaments without having to go through the traditional setup process on community gaming platform, right? So it streamlined our internal processes quite a bit, because we are managing and hosting dozens of tournaments a day, and having to donate to them and create them on chain and follow through all of that like traditional tournament flow is taking time from our folks internally, right? So we'd rather than focus on something else while we have this amazing tool with access to wallet, currently only operating on Base, of course, but we do want to make that a cross-chain thing, right? To, create on-chain tournaments, which is a smart contract interaction, and then from there on, donating to the tournament's prize pool, following whether the tournament has finished or not, and if all brackets were completed, and finally issuing the payouts for a tournament, right? This is the full flow that we want to build with Byte and with Coinbase CDP and the MPC wallet. And we are missing a few components towards the end, but we're off to a great start. We can go to the next slide, please.
Community Gaming LLM-powered AI chatbot supports on-chain interactions through Coinbase developer platform MPC wallets. In this prompt, a CG admin is asking the chatbot to pay out this week's questing leaderboard rewards. While the chatbot is processing our request, let's take a look at the real-time leaderboard. The chatbot quickly identifies the top 3 players and calculates the amount of ETH reward they are getting this week. In the final stage, the chatbot will use its MPC wallet to send the payments to the players and output the raw execution results.
Yeah, thanks. So, as you know, both for tournaments and quests have their own leaderboard, and the payouts structures are different. We kind of like in the old days, right? We used to pay out these rewards manually. Then we kind of automated it, but right now Byte does that for us, right? We have an admin prompt where we ask um, where we ask Byte, the AI-powered solution, to pay out different types of rewards, and voila, it's just handled in a couple of seconds, and that uses Base again and the CDP APIs or wallet. And yeah, with that, I'd like to conclude. We loved working with Coinbase team on this. We're happy to be one of the pioneers under this grant, and hope to continue building this with us. Thanks.
Awesome. That was great. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's incredibly cool to see a real practical use case of AI and crypto, and I think community gamings really nails that in terms of taking something that used to be a complex, annoying, automated or manual process and turning it into something that's automated. So with that, yeah, happy to hand it over to SphereOne for this next demo.
Really appreciate being here. I am Ryan, and Chris is also here with me. We are the two co-founders of SphereOne. Essentially, what we're doing is we're building out infra to enable effortless crypto interactions with AI agents. Kind of where we came to this from was I mean, if you look at crypto as a whole right now, it's a very complicated type industry and overall user experience. You have to go through switch networks, understand what a wallet is. You have to really kind of have a lot of understanding and knowledge before you can actually do anything in the space in general. And really, what we're trying to do is bring the Visa-like experience powered by AI agents to crypto. So you can do anything in kind of this automated finance future. Um, I'm Ryan. In my background, essentially, I got started in crypto in 2017, built out an AI trading bot, combining two machine learning algorithms, reinforcement learning, and LSTM. That did really great until it didn't, like most trading bots. And then this is Chris here with me, and his background is mainly in cybersecurity, but AI cybersecurity. So he worked at a company called Silence before he started doing a lot of distributed systems work. Um, and yeah, I've been working on this for the last couple years, and to date, we have quite a bit of support across crypto as a whole. I think we can go to the next slide. Um, what we've kind of seen and what we can continue to see is that crypto is really well set up for this kind of future or idealistic vision that we have, where in the future you'll have agents do all kinds of different transactions for you, or even like things in your job. So maybe you have like an agent that then subcontracts other agents to get a given task done. So if I'm like working somewhere, like maybe it is Coinbase, or maybe it's I don't know, somewhere, right? And I need to get some software engineering work done, or I just need a design done, or whatever. The idea is that, at least how we look at it is, in the future you'll have one agent you can contract out and say, hey, I need to get this website built, and then that'll then go out and subcontract and pull in a designer, and then pull in a developer, and then pull in like a QA. And you can kind of have this whole process that gets wrapped and enclosed into a composable system. But if you're subcontracting out all these different agents, that's a ton of micropayments. And crypto is really, really well set up for this agent to agent based payment system. The other thing that we also see, and how we're kind of looking at it, is people don't like messing with finance. The holistic and goal vision I think a lot of people have is, I just want to put my money in this thing and then make a bunch of money back. And you don't want to necessarily spend 40 hours a week looking at strategies and doing whatever. So the other part of our thesis is, can you kind of set up this like automated finance world where you have, maybe you deposit into something, or you create your own strategy, and you say, every Wednesday, rebalance my portfolio to get me the best yield. Um, and essentially, can you create this automated, almost like Wealthfront like style system? And that's kind of our two sides of our overall thesis. And then we also linked, I think, your guys' thesis. I think you guys from Coinbase Ventures did a great job there. Um, I think we can go to the next slide as well. In kind of our demo and what we've been doing and working on quite a bit is agentic wallets. So we have support today, or today we support about 116 different blockchains, and we support, I think, over 200 different protocols. So we pretty much support most of the Web3 space. That's a EVM, non-EVM, so Solana, Cosmos, Aptos, Sui. We support the whole gambit. And a really important piece of that is actually the Coinbase, like MPC-based wallets. So in order to support that on the agentic side and to kind of enable this automated finance future, the MPC wallets are vital to that. That's kind of what we're going to show in part of our demo portion here, but kind of our vision and what we've been working on with an association to the MPC wallets is really this idea of like, I mean, I'm a Coinbase user and have been for years, right? And something that I would just absolutely love would be if I could go from Coinbase or bank account all the way through Coinbase, all the way to the MPC-based wallet, all the way to on-chain effectively, and do that in an automated fashion as much as possible. And then enable that to get me something where it's like, hey, deposit into this yield-based strategy with stable coins, maybe USDC, and then that could then get me a return. So that's kind of the long-term vision that we're building, and we made really great strides on that so far. Implementing the MPC-based wallets, the on-ramps, and some paymaster and some stuff on that. So I think without further ado, I can hand over to Chris to kind of go through the demo.
Sweet, you can go ahead and start that. So very quickly, I think Ryan set this up really well, but essentially this demo will showcase essentially two agents working in combination to solve a user intent. So we see this kind of like, hey, I'd like to swap from this token to this token on Linea using Li-Fi, which is a pretty common protocol in crypto for specifically for cross-chain interactions, but also for cross-chain swaps and native swaps. So essentially what's happening here is essentially we've wrapped the Li-Fi protocol with an agentic interface. So this agent can do what's called function calling using Li-Fi's verified smart contracts or APIs. And essentially what we're going to do in this demo is we're going to showcase, hey, we'll have this like essentially agentic wallet that will pay Li-Fi for the services that it provides for this user. And essentially, what we'll have this like user, essentially user proxy AI agent that essentially will go pay the Li-Fi agent to then go do some work, which is kind of aligned with a future that we definitely see that is more aligned with this kind of like service as a software paradigm, where essentially agents will pay agents to do work. So kind of what we're seeing is, this AI agent's paying Li-Fi for some work being done, and then we'll see the swap come across. Very simple demo, but like I think at scale, using Coinbase CDP, this abstracts kind of all kind of like chain primitives, as well as chain abstraction and even protocol abstraction. And then you kind of get to this world where essentially you just meet the user where they're at. And whatever the user would like to do, you can bundle into an intent in natural language, or maybe it's like a front end React component, like a button that might be prepackaged with some intent that goes and does some agentic workflow. But yeah, I think that's that's kind of what we showcased in that demo. We've been really excited to go kind of like build on base as the control plane for anything you can do with our agents. And that's been pretty well received in the first month, with I think around 3 million unique active wallets, and then essentially I think 12 million transactions completed on our testnet. So really excited about building this. I think this is definitely the future, and I think Coinbase CDP provides us a pretty good fundamental building blocks to go do that. And I'll let Ryan talk a little bit more about like why we chose to build with Coinbase CDP specifically.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, essentially, overall, user experience or developer experience is super, super great. Developers were able to jump right in right away, and we got a lot of this set up pretty fast, I would say, overall. Um, what we've done to date is we effectively built out a system where we have about 30 agents that are enabling us to incorporate. It's like essentially a series of agents that can then build an agent, so we're able to scale much quicker. And in this process, like we use some of that underpinnings to actually build out the integration for the MPC wallets, which is great. So we can kind of have this recursive loop that is more scalable. Um, but overall, CDP has been an absolutely excellent experience and thing to work with. Um, Developers absolutely loved it, and then we're continuing to see more and more traction on it every day. So I think that's kind of the main portions there. I didn't want to forget though. I forgot to mention we are doing some really exciting stuff here pretty soon, where we're going to have like an automated finance based UI kind of come out to fulfill more on our vision of like this world where it's very clear to the user. So we're going to do a UI refresh and update, and then that should be coming out here pretty soon, as well as this automated finance like agent. And that should be like an agent that you effectively can just send money to or create a strategy with and have it work across all 116 chains to make it where your portfolio performs the best. So we're kind of working more and more in that direction, and super excited to announce that here pretty soon.
Awesome. Appreciate that. Super cool to see the interest and excitement you guys have already seen around this AI orchestration. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head when it comes to thinking about what the future of AI actions looks like and getting to a point where you could just like talk to an AI, treat it as your financial advisor, ask it whatever questions you have about your portfolio. It asks you questions to understand your risk tolerance and interest, and then you can automatically be allocated across a basket of RWAs, stables, DeFi protocols, all without knowing anything about what's going on. In the same way, you can talk to a financial advisor now and just give them money and never know what's actually going on. You can do the same thing with the AI agents. So I love the ability of artificial intelligence to completely abstract away any user experience whatsoever beyond the initial deposit and just letting it run. So great, really appreciate that overview. So yeah, thank you all for listening here. I'm sure there was a lot of interest in doing this grant program yourself or being a part of it, and you're wondering how. If you're not, we have multiple rounds of these builder grants coming in. We just finished up round 2 on October 25th, and we're going through the process right now of going through those entries and choosing our next winners. But we plan to have builder grants as well over the next coming months, so stay tuned for announcements about that. We love any sort of entries around AI, gaming, fintech, payments, whatever you can think of within the CDP SDK. We've decided to go a little bit broader than AI for these next rounds, but AI entries are always welcome and quite frankly, some of the coolest that we see. Next slide, please. We'll also be at ETH Global Bangkok right after DevCon, the weekend of November 15th to the 17th. We have $20,000 in prizes there for anyone who's interested in building using the CDP products, whether that be the CDP SDK or the on-chain kit. Looking forward to seeing you there in person if you're going to be there. And if you're going to be at DevCon, please reach out. We have many members of the CDP team who will be there and are happy to discuss with you whatever you're working on, provide you whatever white glove support you might need, and everything in the realm of making sure that you have the best building experience possible. Next slide. And with that, I'd love to turn it over to the audience for any questions that you all might have. We have 2 fantastic projects here. Would love to learn more about how we can get involved with those, get any clarifications or explanations on how things work. Yeah, we'll take it from there.
Yeah, so I'll moderate this and kind of get started here with any questions that anyone has. You can post those in the chat and we'll watch those and I'll go over some of them. In the meantime, one question I have for you guys to just kick this off is for you, Lincoln, is what do you see as the biggest benefit of building with the CDP SDK?
I think the simplicity that it provides, along with the power of arbitrary on-chain interactions, is incredibly beneficial. And one of the really unique things is that as an SDK available in Python and TypeScript, it's very easy to integrate with other APIs. So for example, in the recent based agents demo, we're able to have a server with access to a wallet and an AI agent that can not only interact with various on-chain actions like transferring, swapping, staking, whatever, also do things like post on Twitter. And I think we can come to this fun world where you could have something like, say, a LinkedIn bot, where you talk to a bot, you tell it, hey, I'm looking for experts within this specific field. Could you give me insights about what's going on in this area? The bot can use its LinkedIn API to scour the website, find the clients or customers, whoever are most interested in this specific area and have lots of expertise. And it can message him and be, hey, I'd love to take a call with you. I'll pay you in USDC. Get on a call with these people because it's now good enough to where you can have actual conversations with the AI agents and then pay them in USDC and summarize the results for someone. The automation potential, I think, is very exciting. And of course, eventually, we want to get to a world where a lot more things are decentralized. But for the time being, having the power of a more centralized model, I think, is very transformative.
Got it. Got it. Okay, so I just found one to get this started. So what safeguards or fail safes are in place to prevent transaction errors when managing dozens of transactions per minute?
I guess on the CDP SDK side, our MPC wallets use multi-party computation so that even if a developer loses their shard of the private key, there's also a portion of the private key held by Coinbase, so that there can be no exploits or issues, any sort of loss of funds that could happen, as long as your API keys are entirely safe. So the MPC wallet technology is our bread and butter for security.
Okay, another question is, how is the user experience optimized during high volume transaction periods, and what metrics are used to measure the simplicity and efficiency of the transaction process?
Is this for CDP SDK or SphereOne or just kind of generally?
I think this is in general. This is by Pistis Circular. So let us know if that it wasn't, they didn't state if it was, yeah, talking about one of the teams or not. So you can let us know. I can skip it and go to the next one. And then you can let us know in the audience pieces what you're asking that about. So I'll go to how do you envision CDP contributing to the broader development of AI and crypto technologies?
Yeah, after the success this weekend of our based agent demo, which went pretty viral, showing how it's possible to do very specific AI tasks and was meant to be a demonstration and prototype of what's possible, the CDP has decided to lean in very heavily to the potential of AI. And we're going to spend the rest of Q4 coming out with some pretty exciting things that should make the AI development process significantly easier that community gaming and SphereOne could definitely take advantage of when we get those out.
Cool. Okay, what safeguards or fail safes are in place to prevent transaction errors when managing dozens of transactions per minute? I feel like the answer's
SphereOne guys, you want to take that? It seems a little bit more about like the orchestration, lots of
Yeah.
user side of things.
So what was the question? The question was essentially how do we enable like multiple transactions at the same time and safeguards
Yeah,
associated with it?
yeah, I can repeat. Yeah, what
Okay.
safeguards or fail safes are in place to prevent transaction errors when managing dozens of transactions per minute?
Yeah, so essentially each individual transaction and user's like connection is independent from each other. So for us, everything is independent for the user in itself. So there shouldn't be any problems where there's effectively multiple being like overlapped when you have multiple users hitting, if even in the same protocol, it's like as if you're hitting the contract multiple through different wallets. So effectively, it's not like anything different. So um, the way in which we're safeguarded from that is that each individual person has their own experience, and it's not that it is shared between participants.
I have another SphereOne question since have you. What key innovations make SphereOne stand out in the current crypto payment landscape?
Yeah, I would say the main thing is orchestration across multiple different protocols and being able to do that. We built out, in order to make our system work, we had two key insights. One was we originally did crypto payments, and that kind of ran into like a massive issue of just kind of trying to expand blockchains. We incorporated 18 chains, and then just as L2s took off and everything else, it was insanely hard to try and keep up. And we knew there had to be a better way with that. And that was actually when we started diving more and more into the AI agent space, leveraging our AI backgrounds. That has been building out a system of about 30 different agents to create an agent has enabled us to scale much, much faster, because we can incorporate a new chain and protocol in about 15 minutes. So we can do it very, very fast, as opposed to previously it would take us weeks or maybe even a month to get something like that in. The other thing too is we built out a knowledge graph. So we actually traverse that in our like what we call our super agent, and we identify like what each individual protocol and chain does, and we can then traverse this graph to understand which agents to incorporate into a single like chat, and then coordinate across all of those individual agents. So I would say both of those are probably the two key insights. I don't know if Chris has anything he would like to add.
Yeah, I think a couple other really interesting ones would be around LLM routing. So certain base models may be better suited for different actions that may be done by AI agents on chain. So it's important to have some concept of being able to route that accordingly. We're going to continue to see this proliferation of like large base models. So being able to understand how to get the best output and then like route that request efficiently is an important thing to do. We've done some interesting stuff around like preventing like LLM as a threat surface. Like you can do some kind of like nasty stuff with LLM specifically around like jailbreaking them and then essentially maybe getting them to do some like nasty things within your own data plane as the provider. So we've done some interesting stuff there. And then I'd say the last one would be like agent fine tuning to get higher deterministic output. So those are some other areas on our end that I wanted to highlight.
Thanks. Yeah. Okay, another one I'm going to ask is from Sueño. With AI becoming integral to crypto and finance, how does Coinbase's AI development strategy align with ensuring user security and privacy, especially as more predictive and personalized AI-driven insights become available? Additionally, what future capabilities are you most excited to bring to Coinbase users through AI?
Yes, great question. User security and privacy are obviously very important as we start to think about which ways that we want to integrate the CDP SDK within AI. For example, for that based agent demo from previously this weekend, it was primarily only using the OpenAI API. In an ideal world, it would be an LLM agnostic solution, allowing you to bring whatever LLM you wanted, which would thus give you whatever level of privacy or decentralization that you might have. What am I most excited to bring to Coinbase users through AI? I think it primarily comes down to what we've seen from both of these companies today, which is around just the automation of complex tasks, getting to the point where you don't have to know anything about what's going on in the blockchain or Web3 space to start interacting on chain, I think is a huge value add. You can swipe a debit card without having any idea what goes on the back end, and the same isn't true for crypto. As long as you really have to download a wallet, store your private keys, initiate transactions, sign random, obscure, complex messages, it'll never be an experience that's accessible to everyone. But the introduction of autonomous agents that can act on your behalf finally makes it possible for these types of things to go mainstream. So that's really what I'm most excited about. Good question.
Okay, there's so many questions, you guys. I'm trying to prick them. Okay, so let's see. How does CDP help to contribute to the development and help of blockchain in Petar? Any features would go to C. I'm not sure what that means. I'm going to skip that one.
One question from me
Unless you know.
for
Okay, good.
and community gaming that I'd love to ask is like, what are you most excited about in terms of the convergence of crypto and AI? Like where do you want to go from here? What would be the next best steps for you to continue tighten this integration? Community gaming, start with you.
Yeah, definitely. And as I've said, right, we're soon going to be launching a token and a whole ecosystem around it. And I think specifically for the prediction market type of product that we're launching, which is typically a big consumer-facing apps where you have all of these needs to, well, manage the markets, be a market maker in some of the cases, create liquidity, put up liquidity, control liquidity and risk to different markets. I see this as another, of course, it needs to be battle tested as control, but potentially another good use case where we could be leveraging AI specifically, right? CDP and wallets and whatnot in the next 3 to 6 months.
I think on our side, I think there's a lot of really interesting stuff you can do, specifically with like agent to agent payments, where I think Coinbase is really well placed with essentially just Coinbase liquidity that lives on Coinbase and on Base Network. And I think there's an interesting opportunity to kind of like use crypto rails for this like services software type paradigm for use cases outside of Web3. So I think there's some really interesting opportunities to kind of like move in that direction beyond just like AI agents that do stuff on chain, which then kind of like creates like more proliferation of like I think blockchain utility into maybe stuff like cross-border remittances or other like real use cases there. So, I'm always kind of like thinking about like, how can we continue to show the world the utility with blockchain? I think there's an interesting opportunity for that.
Did you have any more, Lincoln, or should I go to the audience again?
Yeah, I'd love to take some more audience questions.
Okay, cool. Okay, so with the growth of platforms like SphereOne, which streamline crypto payments, how does Coinbase see the future of payment infrastructure evolving for mainstream adoption?
That's an interesting question because I think there's several different ways to look at it. One is like from the perspective of payments, is there really a place for crypto there? Obviously, you would hope so because it's cheaper, faster, allows for cross-border, all sorts of things like that. But when you have solutions that exist, whether that be like Venmo or Zelle or PayPal, as well as the various options available internationally, including USDT and Tether and stablecoins, um, the question becomes how exactly do you have Coinbase facilitate this process? I think the answer could lie in AI. That's one potential opportunity there. But others are in providing an experience that is unique and differentiated from other stablecoins or opportunities. How exactly to do that remains to be seen, but we're cooking up some good, interesting solutions there.
So another question, what sets the CDP AI builder apart from other AI tools for developing decentralized applications, and what unique features or support does it provide to help users integrate smoothly into the blockchain ecosystem?
Yeah, so the primary thing to me that stands out as a unique value add is being available in Python and TypeScript, two languages that are traditionally not used for blockchain development. This plus still having the ability to do everything within a single line of code allows for a lot of very powerful integrations to be created very quickly and simply. In a perfect world, it would be possible for even people who don't have any programming experience to easily start using the CDP SDK and interact with all of its available functions and features. AI plays a part of that on the other side of things. So using tools like Cursor, Replit, Claude, ChatGPT, whatever, to make the coding process a lot more straightforward. We're personally supporting that by trying to get as indexed into all these different LLMs as possible. We have a one pager in our documentation that you can copy and paste into an existing large language model so that when you're programming with the CDP SDK, the process is significantly more accurate. So yeah, those are just a few of the ways, but yeah, many different unique value adds that the CDP SDK and CDP in general can offer.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question to both of our presenters. or recipients, I mean. So how can listeners try out SphereOne and community gaming's tournaments? So we can start with Satha on that one.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, how can people in the audience and listeners try out community gaming's tournaments? And then for SphereOne, try out SphereOne, and what should they do next?
Cool question. I guess, head straight to our homepage, and there's just a bunch of tournaments available right then and there. And, you can join one in the matter of a minute. So whether you're a competitive gamer who, wants to play in tournaments, or a more casual person who's interested in doing questing for some different kinds of rewards, right, where we got you covered. So, yeah.
I think
for SphereOne, you
I think
guys go, yeah.
Yeah, on our side, you can use our agents on large decentralized exchanges, like maybe like a Kinetics or Line Hub, which are two of the largest kind of DeFi protocols on their respective chains. Coming soon, we have QuickSwap and SparkDex, which will be pretty exciting. So we're seeing, you can go ahead and use our agents there on these kind of like B2B type deployments. Additionally, we have chat.sphere1.xyz, where you can use any of our almost 200 different agents representative of different protocols and or smart contract functionality. So those would be the two kind of deployment types you can go check out.
One more question I have for SphereOne. What unique feature does SphereOne have setting it apart from other AI projects? You may have answered this now that I'm just thinking. Unless you
I
did.
mean
Okay, cool.
that's good. I mean, main thing is we're transaction based. So from what we've seen, a lot of people in the field are mainly doing stuff around knowledge base. We have a hyper focus on actually enabling blockchain transactions. So we did a lot of engineering work around enabling that, and that's kind of our main piece there.
Okay, I'll do one more question, then we'll kind of wrap this. And we can move all of the chatter to the channel to Discord. But yeah, one more question I have, let's see here, is how does CDP help to contribute to the development and help of blockchain? What are new features we would get to see? If you can answer that, Lincoln.
Yeah, ultimately, we want to support all of the various actions and functions that you have within a traditional end user facing wallet. Some of the ones that immediately come to mind are around bridging. We want to have a command to fund a wallet straight from your server, so you could do wallet.fund. Those are the two that I'll share right now, and then we also have some more coming on the agent side, still fleshing out the details, but we'll be teasing those over Twitter over the next couple of weeks.
Awesome. Does anyone else like to say anything, Ryan, Chris, or Sasha, for the audience? Any information about your team, about new things that you're building next that you're excited about? You can feel free to share.
I think from our end, just appreciate you all coming out and learning more about CDP and what we've built and how we found it useful, and asking some really thoughtful questions. So thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna echo that. And as we're launching all of this live at some point in November, we'd appreciate some good faith battle testing. So, hop on, do try to create some tournaments with the AI agent, chat with it, try to break it. It's gonna be in beta soon, so I appreciate everyone's help. But yeah, I'm happy to continue building AI features into the esports and gaming infrastructure, because I think the intersection is just, especially when the Web3 comes into the mix, is just a brilliant intersection of very exciting technologies. And there's just so many angles that we can attack this, pie of things from. So I'm pretty excited to see what's gonna happen next. Thanks.
Lincoln, did you want to share anything? Any call to actions?
Appreciate you all for coming. Let's keep the conversation going in the CDP, SDK, and MPC wallets channel.
Yeah, so that brings us to the end of our discussion. Thank you so much, Lincoln, Chris, Sasha, and Ryan. It was a pleasure having you guys today. And to all the other recipients that we didn't have on today, there are others that won the grant. So yeah, and more to come because we're running another round, and we're going to launch another round for you guys to apply to later, and we'll tell you about that in Discord. So yeah, any additional questions, and we're going to keep the conversation going here in Discord, and we'll try to get to all of your questions that we didn't get to. So don't worry, we'll try to get to everything. So yeah, thanks again, everybody. We'll have more events coming soon. We'll probably do another grant recipients event since this was super popular to showcase other winners. And we're going to have some workshops coming up in November. And then our team's going to DevCon. So if any of you will be there, come chat with us, let us know in Discord. And besides that, just look for the recording in our YouTube. And we will also link the recording once it's done in Discord so you won't miss it. So yeah, thanks everybody. Loved having you, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.